everyone. So we are here to wrap up what we read during the Booktubeathon of 2018. We all had very different weeks, but very fun weeks, and I think we were pretty successful. So let's just see how we did. Alright, so we're just going to go through it kind of challenge by challenge, and the first challenge was let a coin toss decide your first read. Crystal?
My coin toss book was Caddyshack, The Making of a Hollywood Cinderella Story. And I did read it first, like I was supposed to. And it was incredible. The best book I've read this year.
Oh, really?
It was the most enjoyable thing I've read all year long.
That's awesome.
Where I learned stuff. So, yeah. If you're interested in, like, the early Saturday Night Live era, the, like, Caddyshack and National Lampoon era, just read this book. It's fantastic.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was eye-opening.
High praise.
Yeah.
Best book of the year, holy cow, okay. The coin toss decided that I was going to read Gillian Flynn's Sharp Objects first. Like I said in our TBR, this is a reread for me, but oh my gosh, I had forgotten a lot. So, yeah, that was my first read.
It's good.
I loved it. I need her to write another book. She's one of my favorite authors.
Have you read The Grown Up, like her little novella?
Yes.
I love that one too.
Yeah, it's like really, really dark and very creepy. But I think she's a fantastic writer, and she, like, before she started writing novels, she was a screenwriter, so she has like a very vivid way of writing, and I can't get enough of it. So if you like dark thrillers, for sure read this one.
I will move that up my list.
Yeah.
I think, or I'll just take yours home.
Did you finish the TV show now too?
No, because it's still airing.
Oh, it's
but
still airing.
I think I'm caught up to the current set.
Nice. Alright, so my first read, and also the winner of my coin toss, was And the Ocean Without Sky by Patrick Ness. This was such a beautiful book. No surprises there. I will say, I think if I knew the story of Moby Dick, because this is it's kind of Moby Dick from the whale's point of view, kind of.
Okay.
Not really-ish. But so I feel like I don't know the story of Moby Dick well at all. I kind of I know the first sentence of the book. Call me Ishmael. But so I feel like I would have gotten a bit more if I known that story. That said, this is gorgeous. I cannot wait to pick up the final copy. It's fully illustrated, and it's just stunning. So successful first challenge for all of us.
Awesome.
So the second challenge was to read a book about something you wanted to do.
Started it. So I did start my beloved Brontosaurus. I got maybe a couple chapters in, 30 pages, a few page flags for some notes, but I did not complete it. But I got caught up reading other things, as you'll see soon.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Valiant effort.
Remind me why that was something you want to do?
Oh, I would love to go on a dinosaur date.
Right.
And even just reading the first little opening of this, I think I want to go to Utah and Colorado on a road trip and check out all the dinosaur stuff.
Nice.
And is this nonfiction?
It is nonfiction, but so the Brontosaurus was once a dinosaur and then it was not. So this is the story of how the Brontosaurus is no longer a dinosaur, yet 2 years after this book was published, the Brontosaurus is back.
Yes!
The Brontosaurus is now a dinosaur again.
It's like the Pluto of the
and he references Pluto in here too, and it's like, everybody was just so upset, but now everybody can rejoice.
I'm so glad.
The Brontosaurus.
Yeah. This was in 2013, and in 2015 there was a National Geographic article saying that with new research, the Brontosaurus is back.
Cool.
Still
Welcome
beloved.
back to
Still
Brontosaurus.
beloved.
Yeah. Okay. I'm very glad to hear that. My book for this one, I went with Comfort Me with Apples, which is the food editor, or the restaurant critic rather, I believe for the New York Times. And this is her memoir. I chose it because I was like, eating food for a living sounds delicious. And talking about it. This is much more like tawdry than I was expecting.
Ooh.
I'm not quite finished, and she's already had 2 affairs. And so less about food than I was expecting, and then a lot more about her love life and her unraveling marriage. It's
probably why she's a bestseller.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting and enjoyable?
interesting and some I find myself getting frustrated with her and being like, okay, I've yeah, it's not quite my
decisions than
cup
you
of
would.
tea. Yeah, and also at least the first part of it is like it's all taking place in the 80s when I feel like French food was like, you know, the best you could get, and so there's like a lot of talk about like, oh, and then we had foie gras for this meal and this meal, and I'm like, I have heard enough about foie gras. So yeah, definitely not my favorite read of the year, but I am still glad I picked it up, so there you go.
Nice.
I've got a few chapters left. Yeah.
So the book I read for this challenge is like a new all-time favorite of ever.
Wow.
Like maybe not my favorite book ever, but like in the top 5.
Okay.
And that is The Storied Life of AJ Flynn. I kind of didn't know which book to pick up at one point during the readathon, so I read the first chapter of 3 of my books for the vlog. And within the first chapter, I was like, I'm going to love this book. It's the first chapter follows a sales rep from a publisher who's like traveling on a boat to a little island where this man called AJ Flynn owns this bookstore, and he's kind of like a curmudgeon. And he's like, I thought he was an old man. He's not an old man. He's 39.
So old.
But in the first chapter, they talk about like their fall lists and like arcs and galleys and like just like the backstage of a bookstore. And I just like, it's a book for book people, like 100%. Like
cool.
It's so, and I cried like a little baby at the end. It was just. It's so well done, and it kind of like follows AJ Flynn's life. At the beginning, he's a widower and has been for a couple years, and then he meets this woman, and he finds a baby in his store that he ends up adopting, which is like, okay, maybe you just suspend your disbelief on that one a tiny bit, because you probably wouldn't end up adopting a baby you randomly found. But
agencies involved.
What year did your book take place in?
I don't think it's specified.
Like, is it modern or is it
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, okay. So finding a baby is not as rare as it used to be in
Yeah.
like the Victorian era or something.
No, it's like, it's present day. And it just kind of follows his life, and I loved it.
Cool.
Like, I was like trying to like process my thoughts afterward on the vlog, and I was like crying. And I was like, if you are a book person, and I say this in the vlog as well, if you're watching this, you probably are. Like, you don't have to be in like publishing or anything, but if you know anything about books, you are going to love this.
Cool.
So good. Everybody should.
Added to my list. Awesome.
Alright, moving on. Challenge 3 was read and watch a book to movie adaptation.
Yes. So I did read Caddyshack, and this is the making of, so not an adaptation, but I learned quite a lot about how movies were made back then, and it actually became a two-parter. So the first 100 or so pages of this book talks about how the guys from National Lampoon came together and how they met the guys from Saturday Night Live and Second City, and they talked about their first big success, which was Animal House, which I had actually never seen. And I watched it, and it was incredible. It holds the test of time. It's technically great. It's very funny, and I really, really enjoyed it. And then the second half of this book talks about how they wanted to follow that up with another big hit. But it was a mess. And I did watch Caddyshack when I was done, and it was kind of bad.
Oh no!
I mean, it's funny, but I think maybe because I knew everything behind the scenes before watching it, I could pick out the good things, and then I also saw where the bad things were, and was like, yeah.
Right.
Because the gopher was not supposed to be in this movie at all.
What?
So in post-production, when they were editing, because they shot an entire movie on cocaine, nothing was cohesive. So they made the decision later to like have these puppeteers create, and when you watch it, he really is the glue.
Yeah,
that brings that.
That's the only
he's
thing
like,
I do about Caddyshack.
yeah, he kind of like helps stick the pieces together instead of just this mismatch of like insanity.
Did they then have to like go back and like shoot all the stuff with
No.
with Bill Murray?
No.
Because he's like
Well, the thing with Bill Bill Murray is that his scenes were specifically for like, okay, so we're talking to guys who live off of improv.
Yeah.
So with all the cocaine that was flying around and all these comedians on set with Rodney Dangerfield, Chevy Chase, and Bill Murray, basically the script went through so many changes they ran out of colors of paper to print the rewrites on. So it was just this rainbow of paper.
Yeah.
Because every time you do a rewrite, you print it
Yeah.
on a different color. And apparently it was just this rainbow of a script. Everyone improv'd. The one actor, Ted Knight, was the only like square stickler guy who was like got just angry all the time because nobody stuck to anything, and it was just a messy place to be. But the movie is funny. The scenes are great. Oh, so the stuff with Bill Murray, they're just like, okay, so your character's trying to kill a gopher, and
So-
we're kind of like Jaws. We're not going to show him. We're
Okay,
just
I
going to see
understand,
you
yeah.
trying to defeat this gopher, and then in the
gosh.
end, the gopher was necessary. Like,
That's
it was
crazy.
But
Okay.
Animal House, wow, that
I
was
think
a treat.
I think
I
that's one
really
of those ones
enjoyed
that I've
that.
seen like scenes of, but not
Yeah.
as an entire thing as well. So perhaps
And
I'll have to
watching it
revisit
as
it.
like a film student too, I was like, this is no wonder this was a hit. And
Right.
like the time it came out, it was supposed to be like raunchy. Like the studio executive that picked it up, he's like, I hated this. It was garbage. It was raunchy. It was terrible. But they had like a youth division within, and they're like, they really want me to make this, so just go make this movie. And it was a hit. And yeah, that was really good.
Interesting.
Mine again is Sharp Objects, which is currently airing on HBO right now, starring Amy Adams, and Gillian Flynn is actually like one of the main producers on it.
Nice.
So it's very much her vision. They did like change some stuff and sort of like switch the order around of things, but for the most part it is like exactly what happens as it plays out in the book. Again, incredibly dark, very creepy, but I'm really enjoying it, and I think that it was like a faithful and well produced book to screen.
And how do you
adaptation.
feel Amy Adams represents the character that you read?
I think she's doing a very good job of it.
Nice. I do love her.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, the whole cast is really good. I'm blanking on the name of the actress who plays the main character's mother, but she's just like, it's like chills to the core whenever she comes on screen. You're like, you are a very scary, unsettling woman. Yeah.
On a very different note, I'm counting myself as passing this because I did read Holes. I listened to the audiobook of this one actually.
Okay.
It was very good. Like it was good, but it was weird. It's a weird story.
It's a weird story.
And I did very much enjoy it. And then I watched half of the movie.
Okay.
And it wasn't like I wasn't enjoying it, but the movie is like almost word for word.
Oh,
the
wow.
book.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like all the lines are like actually like it's
That's
directly.
funny.
And I couldn't I don't know how it is. Maybe they threw it on its head. But so I watched half the movie and I just wasn't in the mood. Like it was fun. Like it was a fun movie, but I just I don't know.
You're not a huge screen person
No,
anyway,
not
so the
really.
fact that you watched, you haven't, there's no movie references that Corey's like, yep, I've seen that one.
Yeah, basically. So, but I read it. I'm glad I read it.
Good.
I found this copy at the thrift store.
It's like,
Oh, it's
brand new
It's
condition.
like brand new. So I was gonna get it from the library, but I didn't have to.
Excellent.
But so we're saying I passed.
You passed. You gave it the honest try. Because it was
And
word
you
for word. I'm sure you
Did
know
the
how it
book
ended.
part of it,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
think especially that
You did the
counts.
readathon part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so challenge 4 was read a book with green on the cover.
Green.
Nice.
Green.
Perfect. Oh, and I did Miles Morales
Oh yeah.
by Jason Reynolds.
Is that the Brooklyn Bridge?
Yeah, would be.
Cool.
It was. I liked some parts of it, but for a book that's 260 pages long, I was a little bit bored.
Okay.
But I did enjoy the process of reading it, but it wasn't thrilling, shall we
Okay.
say. But it was good,
Interesting.
and I I like Miles Morales as a character for sure.
Yeah. I think I said in our TBR he's my favorite Spider-Man incarnation, and I'd really like to read that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you would like it. Yeah.
His comic book run is awesome.
I'm glad to have read it.
Nice. Okay.
And we obviously know what you think about Sharp Object.
Yeah.
Yes, I've said enough.
I've been rewatching, so my entire week turned into the read the book and watch the adaptation. I've been rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra. So the graphic novels continue on after the series. So I've been reading through those. Has green on the cover. They've been super enjoyable.
Appa.
Yeah.
Is
They're
it Appa?
tying up a lot of loose ends. That is Appa.
I love Appa.
I know. He's such a color monster. Beautiful.
Avatar is amazing if you haven't seen it.
Yes.
By the way.
So
Airbender, I know that they made a movie that was very badly reviewed, but there's also like an animated show.
yeah,
That's
so
what the original movie
it started as a
Gotcha.
Nickelodeon animated show for 3 seasons, which were really good.
Okay.
And then to continue on the story, they've done maybe 5 graphic novel arcs that follow.
Gotcha.
So I'm just starting the 3rd arc, and then The Legend of Korra, which is like the next Avatar, is incredible to watch.
Cool.
But yeah.
Okay.
Let's just go to question 5. Challenge 5. Read a book while wearing the same hat the entire time.
I did. I kind of failed. I started Caddyshack, and then I read a lot in bed and a lot in my warm house. But the other day, I specifically took this from the library, I put on my hat, and I read this book.
Nice.
So, I did it.
You did.
I did it.
I 100% failed at this. I was supposed to read it, or wear my hat while I was reading this. I went camping for the weekend and forgot my hat.
Oh no.
I
Well,
forgot any hat. So yeah,
this is
no,
a shame in general.
just 100% failed. I'm sorry.
I did this, and it was, I went to the park, had my hat on. I literally put it on when I got to the park. It was too hot.
It's been very hot here.
And then I flipped through all of Saga Volume 8.
Nice.
And
what a beautiful rainbow zebra.
it's a beautiful rainbow zebra. I will say, I love Saga, and I've been here since the first volume came out, I think. I've been reading it, so it's been quite a while. This is probably my least favorite volume. I still enjoyed it, but it is, when you read Saga, you come to expect grim, violence and gore and gross, and it's very adult. This one took it to another level.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, eh. So this one wasn't my favorite, but still enjoyed it. Still definitely will continue on with the series.
Okay.
Alright, so the next challenge is read a book with a beautiful spine.
I 100% failed. In our TBR, I said I'd try and find one, and I did. And I read about 15 pages of Church of Marvels. And the spine is really beautiful, as is the cover, but I got caught up reading much, much more. So,
Gotcha.
That's fair.
didn't
That's fair.
happen.
What's the cover? What's the
You'll
spine?
see.
Okay. Jumping ahead. For that one, I chose Eventown by Corey and Heiju. This is a middle grade that comes out in February, and it's got this gorgeous with roses on the side there. I really liked this book.
Oh yeah? Good.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain without giving a ton of stuff away, but basically the main character and her family moves to Eventown after something has happened, something traumatic has happened to their family in the last year. So they decide to relocate to this new town that they've been to once or twice for vacation before. But then it turns out that there's something going on in Eventown. There's it's too perfect, and then she has to figure out why.
Great Stepford.
Yeah,
A little bit
that's
Stepford,
what
a little
Raymond
bit.
did.
Oh, there was something else that it really reminded me of, but a little bit. Oh gosh, what's that movie with Reese Witherspoon and Tobey Maguire, and it's in black and white?
Oh, The Ice Storm.
No.
No? Oh, she's not in that.
Pleasantville.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Where it's everyone in Pleasantville is so happy and everything's so perfect, and it's it's perfect because they're not thinking about a lot of stuff and not. Anyways, I really really enjoyed it. Yeah, I think everyone should check this one out when it comes out in February.
Nice.
I'm gonna steal that from you as
Yeah,
well.
for sure.
So the next one I have is Wanderlost by Jen Malone. And it has a nice little like pink ombre kind of thing going on here. I think. Oh no, that's a lie. I was gonna say I think it was my least favorite of the reads on, but that's not true. It's a fun, like European. It's about this girl who's like never left home, is very content to like just be at home. She's going nearby home to go to college. And at the beginning of the book, her sister not accidentally, like, gets arrested for like reasons that are kind of illegitimate, but gets arrested, and her sister has just graduated from college and is trying to get a job with a congressman because she wants to be a politician. And over the summer, her sister was supposed to go to Europe and guide a group of senior citizens across Europe as a tour guide. And her sister's very worldly and speaks different languages, and and so they like devised this plan that the one who will go, the Aubrey is her name, will go in her sister's place.
Okay.
To, like, so it's like
Like
again
as her?
As her. So it's
Okay.
like she goes with like her own passport, but then she kind of like they look very similar because they're sisters. So like their old ID photo, like it looks like. So. And like so again, you kind of have to suspend your disbelief a little bit,
Yeah.
because like they figure it out. Like, but she said she spoke Spanish in her interview. She doesn't speak Spanish. Like, you know, like. So anyways, adventure ensues. I loved the senior citizens. They were very cute. They're always like kind of like rooted for her. And of course, there's a cute boy that gets involved. And it felt like I read this book forever. Not a great feeling. Like, it's, how long is it? It's like 316 pages long, and I read it in a day, but it was like, it felt like a long day.
Right.
I do think it does have really good reviews on Goodreads, so maybe it's a me thing.
Yeah.
So, like, it has like almost 4 stars, which is pretty good on Goodreads. So,
Okay.
A lot of people do like this. It just wasn't for me. Maybe it was a bad day to read it or something, but
That's fair.
anyway, it was alright. It was alright. That's my whole recommendation. Okay, and the 7th challenge was to read 7 books.
I did. I read 7 books. So, I read Caddyshack, and then I read the second arc of Avatar: The Last Airbender graphic novels, so those 3, and the first in the third arc. And then, keeping with this adaptation type thing, I read Short and Skinny.
Yay!
And I loved it
I knew
so
you
much.
would.
It's basically the story of skinny little Mark who wants to be big and tough, but then he sees Star Wars and realizes that Luke Skywalker's short and skinny. Maybe it's not all that bad. And then him and some kids from school and his parents all get together, and he shoots a parody film called Star Wars. And this is everything that I love about everything, and another really great read.
Yeah.
And
it's set in the 70s, like the summer that Star Wars first came out, which is also super fun, just as like a throwback.
He talks about going to the movies, and then he sees a trailer for Star Wars, and he's like, what's this? And then him and his friends go see Star Wars, and he's like, I'm going to make a movie. Because he's a cartoonist. He he draws little comic strips and stuff. And then he, it was so much fun, and I really loved it. So thank you for giving it to me.
You're very welcome.
And then keeping up with my movie education, I read Crab Monsters, Teenage Cavemen, and Candy Striped Nurses, a biography of Roger Corman, the king of the B movies. It's by the same guy, Chris Nashawati, who wrote the Caddyshack book, so I knew I would like his writing. Because Caddyshack actually read like a novel. It was really easy to get into, and you really cared about these characters and kind of got to follow them along. But this is the first time I've read like a coffee table book.
Right.
Because there's a lot of information in here, and I've learned so much about this man and how movies got made between like the late 40s to like yesterday. And yeah, but there's a lot in here. Usually these are books I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna buy this book, it looks cool, look at all the pictures. But I actually read every single page in this book. And this guy was a revolutionary. He'd be like, oh, we just finished shooting a sci-fi movie, the set's there, let's just shoot another one. And he would just crank out these movies, and despite his like exploitation films that he put out, like women in prison are popular, let's make movies about those, sci-fi, gore, horror.
Yeah.
Basically any poster that would look exciting at the drive-in would sell a movie. So he just did that, and it was all B-movie. But I learned that he was an open door for anyone the studio wouldn't take. He had more women working for him pretty much then than we do have women working now. And in every role, producers, editors, directors, writers, actresses. And yeah, it was just, again, eye-opening, absolutely incredible. We went to the park to like eat with friends, and I'm just like ignoring everyone. I'm just like, hey, did you know? But like, Jack Nicholson got his start, Martin Scorsese, Jonathan Demme, like everyone who made something amazing at one point. Ron Howard.
Did he make Little Shop of Horrors?
He
the
made,
non-musical one?
Yeah, he made the original one, which I have seen. And the history behind that is that it was shot in 2.5 days on a set that people hadn't taken down yet for $28,000.
Yeah.
And Jack Nicholson's in it, and it's just really incredible. And he was cheap, but he's like, you can do it on this amount of money. You have this actor, this actress, this. You have to use this car, and you have 5 days to shoot. Here's your money. Go. Like the freedom that filmmakers had with him were way more. He took more risks than the studio system and stuff. And it's really an amazing history on filmmaking. And even Ron Howard worked for him once, and he's like, I need a bit more money. I need more extras. I need more of this. He's like, you know what? You can't have it. But just think. If you make this movie for me well, you'll never have to work for me again. And he didn't. He went on to become Ron Howard because you learned so much by staying within budget, making do with what you had, getting stuff done, and it was just my list
really
of
cool.
to watch has increased.
By Stephen
There's
King.
a really good documentary about him as well that I will find the name for you.
Alright, so the final book I read was the one that lost the coin toss. So that's I'm Not Missing by Carrie Fountain. And this, I have heard nobody talk about this book. It just came out in early July. I believe it is her debut. And when I went to rate it, and I rated it 5 stars, there was only like 127 ratings on Goodreads. So I'm like, okay, people want it. So I feel like, talk about this one. So I need to buy my own copy. But this is a story about Miranda, who is like best friends, like very, very close with another girl and they both of their mothers have abandoned them, basically. So then they're very, like, best friends, have been for years, and one day Sid just leaves. She said, leaves a note that says, I'm not missing, so that they can't go out. They're 18, so they can't, like,
okay.
So I didn't run it, like, I'm not missing, so the police can't go after them at that point, because they're adults. She left a note saying, I'm not missing, I'm just gone.
Gotcha.
And not telling Miranda anything. Like, Miranda has no idea where she is, doesn't have her phone, like, doesn't, like... And so Miranda's kind of just trying to deal with this situation, and it's just... I don't want to go too much into the plot. It's a contemporary story, but it's just about kind of a Miranda just finding who she is as a person by herself. Right. And there's a cute little romance in here as well, and I just love her relationship with her father, and it's just... I really, really liked it. Like, it was such a beautiful contemporary story, and I think more people need to read it.
Nice.
Yeah, sounds great. So I liked it.
I like that you color coordinated in your text.
I didn't. This was just because I was feeling unmotivated one night, and sometimes if I know where the next chapter ends, it'll be like, I only have this much left in the chapter. So this is just all the chapters. That's all this is. Cool. But anyways, so yeah, I love this book. Definitely recommend it.
Excellent.
Alright, so that is all of the books that we read during Booktubeathon of 2018. We definitely had some fun this week.
We sure did.
Definitely.
There is a vlog coming. I believe it's coming up after you see this video. But there is one of the whole week. I'm still editing it because I filmed a lot. But yeah, I always enjoy Booktubeathon. It's so much fun to watch other people's Booktubeathon videos as well. A lot of people are like daily vlogging and stuff, and like good on the daily vloggers. That's a lot of
much work. Well done.
But yeah, so it was a really good year, and we will definitely be back next year to do it again.
Yeah, for sure. We always love to hear what you guys chose for Booktubeathon, so let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and you can subscribe for more content every Wednesday and Saturday. happy reading, and thanks for being awesome. Bye.
Bye.